All right, what's up, everybody? So we're going to go through the basics of Photoshop, and that's just going to be layers, a few different tools, the brush tool, the eraser tool, and the move tool. And then we're going to talk about how to scale and then how to export. Really simple today, nothing super special. The next couple days, we'll get into a little more technical skills. This is just to get us used to the program. So first thing I'm going to do is hit Photoshop, brings us to our home page, and we're going to open up a custom size document. So we're going to go to the bottom left, hit create new. There's different options that you can go through, social media, print, but we want to do the custom one so we can really control everything. Our width is going to be a 10 and our height is going to be 8, so it's an 8 by 10. This one's going to be a horizontal project, not a vertical. If you would like to do vertically in the future, you can. And keep your resolution at 300. This is your pixels per inch, so really how detailed can it go and how big can we scale it up when we print it. 300 is basically the max you ever want to go. When I design things, I typically work in 300 because it's easier to scale down and keep good quality. It's way harder to scale up and keep that quality. So making sure we always pay attention to our resolution is super important. So if you have these numbers set, go ahead and hit create, and we'll bring in our basically our blank canvas. So what we got going on right now is we have all of our tools over here on the left. We have a few different options over here. So these are going to be our layers, our properties. Down here, this little check mark or a plus and box is going to be how we can create a new layer. This little guy with the square and a circle is a layer mask, and we're going to do that in a couple days. So don't worry about this too much. But what we got to talk about first is what the heck are layers? So layers in Photoshop is how we can control what is and isn't visible, or how much something is visible. The higher it is in the layer window, the more we're going to be able to see. The lower it is, the less we'll be able to see. And this will make sense in a second. So if I take my paintbrush tool, which is the fourth tool from the top, I can click on the top color circle and choose whatever color I want. I'm going to go with a dark blue. I'm going to click on that 176 and I can drag it. Yours is probably a different number. It's just the size of our brush. And I'm just going to kind of brush, paint real quick, nothing special, just some scribbles, just to show you. Nothing you have to do right now. But if I click on my layers, which is the second one over here, I can see that that was all on layer 1. Now, if I were to draw another squiggle mark with a different color, let's do green, it's going to go on top of that blue. But that's because it's on the same layer. So if I try to hide the green right now or just erase the green with that eraser, it's going to be erasing everything, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to hit undo a few times. Instead, I should click on that new layer icon, the box with the plus on the right-hand side. A new layer is going to pop up, and let's take that down and go to that brush, and now I can paint the green. And what this is doing is it's putting the green on its own layer. So if I click the eyeball, it'll just hide the green, and then the blue in the background is on its own layer. Right? So now I can really control what I'm able to do. So if I just want to erase, let's say I want to erase this part of the green, I can go to my eraser, and I can just start erasing that part. Now notice how it doesn't erase the blue, and that's because I'm only working on the green layer. So again, layers are super important, and it's always crucial to pay attention to what layer you're working on. Now I'm going to start over. I'm just going to hit back a bunch for undo. So when we're starting on that blank canvas, because now that we understand how layers work, we can start bringing in images and talking about how to scale those images, and then we can get into exporting after we make a quick collage. So I went on to Google, I saved 2 images of some animals. I'm going to click on the little icon underneath the T, the text tool. There's this photo and a plus sign. I'm going to click that. I'm going to say go to my photos. And I got these 2 animals. I got a penguin and a whale shark. So I'm going to hit the penguin. And then I can move him wherever I want with this binding box. If I grab any of these little circles, it can scale it. Up at the top, I got these little triangles, which means that it will flip it vertically or horizontally. I hit done. Now, just because I did all that and I brought it over, it doesn't mean that I can't keep moving it. If I go to my layers, you can see that that penguin's on its own layer, so it's not gonna move anything on that background. So if I go to my move tool, which is the top tool, that binding box comes up. Let's hide that so we can see it. And I can still move him around. So let's just put him in this corner. Now I wanna bring over the shark. Same thing, go to that plus with the pictures, hit photos, bring in the shark. Now he's pretty small, so we're gonna bring him a lot bigger. Maybe I horizontally flip him. And I want him to take up the whole thing. So notice how when I grab it on the side, it stretches just the sides and it makes them a little wider or narrower. If I bring the top, it'll do the same thing. But if I grab the corner, it keeps the same ratio. So depending on how you want it to look, it makes a difference. I'm gonna hit done. Let's hide that. Now, the penguin's behind it, but that's because in the layers, the penguin's below it. If I want the penguin on top, I can click and hold and drag up, and now we can see the penguin's feet, which looks a lot better in my opinion. Now, again, because the penguin's all by himself on that layer, I can take that eraser tool. I like the size of that, and then I can start erasing some of this just to like kind of soften those edges. If I want to even make it softer, that little circle is how hard that brush is. So the softer the edge, the more it will kind of blend in. So let's kind of like blend this in a little bit, get rid of some of that. If I take 2 fingers, I can kind of move it, pinch it, will zoom in. So again, I took 2 fingers and spread them out to zoom in, pinch them together to zoom out, and it'll also move my camera around. We're just gonna do this kind of quickly, just for demo purposes. Looks like I didn't back up enough. I still have a blue mark, so I'm gonna use that move tool, move that penguin to hide it a little bit. But just to kind of show you what we can do. Now, let's say I'm done. You know, I'm gonna take my brush. Let's do like a darker green. I'm gonna undo that. And right here, I'm just gonna put my name. Perfect. So now I'm done. I'm ready to turn this in. I gotta export it. So at the very top, the third one from the right, it's the little, I don't know, square with the upward arrow. I'm gonna click that. I'm going to publish and export. Make sure it's a JPEG. Tell the quality to go all the way up. Hit export. It's gonna ask you where do you want to export it. We're just gonna save image. Now yours might have a little window that pops up, says, hey, can I save this to your photos? Just go ahead and hit OK. And now when I go back to my photos, sure, continue, whatever. My Shrek photo is right here for me to upload into Schoology or whatever you need to upload to in the future. So tune into the next photo and we will, I don't want to do that, but tune into the next photo and you'll be able to see what your homework assignment is for today. Have fun, good luck, let me know if you have any questions.